Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with your Thursday, I think today's Thursday morning live stream. It's 11:30 a.m., October 24th, 2023, and I'm here for you guys to answer all your K1 visa questions, and we're going to talk a little bit about joint sponsorship, okay? And Brian and Jacqueline, good morning, Diego and Karina. Good morning, Brian and Jacqueline. Kenza Zane, hi. How are you? We're good. I'm good. Karina's good. Karina's feeling better. I just went to the bank, and then I went to Publix and sent her some money, Western Union, to pay for her medical exam. Let's see. Still no appointments for Kenza Zane. Keep looking, man. Do not panic. Don't panic. You'll get an appointment. Mohammed, good morning, Mohammed. Christopher Stout, hi. Kinza Zane, Ankara sucks. Well, actually, it's a beautiful city. Ankara is a beautiful place. The embassy's just busy, Kinza Zane, relax, please. You will get an appointment. Kamal One, good afternoon, Diego. What's going on, Kamal One? Now, if you need a joint sponsor, okay, a joint sponsor is no problem, but the joint sponsor has to fill out the I-134 Declaration of Financial Support. And you bring that I-134 to the visa interview to the embassy. When you get back to the United States, use the same joint sponsor and file for the green card. The joint sponsor will fill out the affidavit of support, USCIS form I-864. That is if the person doesn't live with you. Let's suppose your brother across town is your sponsor, joint sponsor. He will, or she, if she's a sister, will fill out the I-864. If your joint sponsor lives with you under the same roof, okay, then you fill out I-864A. And Dina says, Dina Alley, hi Diego, I've been waiting for your live stream. Dina, we're glad, welcome aboard. We are glad that you are here. Here's the place to ask all your questions, so I don't have to keep writing with my fingers, and you don't have to keep writing with your fingers too much. You ask me the question, and I give you the answer, as long as I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. Okay, but I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't work for USCIS. I don't give you any legal advice. Zero legal advice. Legal advice is not my bag. But I've been through this K1 visa process twice, plus a spousal visa, plus a K2. So I know how to do this. I could write the book on immigration. Well, on K1 visas, not on immigration, but on K1 visas. Kinza Zane, always no available appointments, 3 weeks. Okay, keep looking. Kinza Zane, can I change embassies? I don't recommend you do that. I don't recommend you doing that. The moment you change embassies is the moment that an appointment slot shows up at the embassy that you just switched from. So let's suppose you change embassies. Guess what? As soon as your visa gets shipped off somewhere else, your beneficiary has to become a resident of that country legally. Okay? Karina's from Venezuela. She's a beautiful Venezuelan. Okay? But she lives in Bogota, Colombia. She's a legal resident of Colombia. So she had to get legal residency. The Colombian government gave her a cedula, a 10-year green card, I guess you'd call it, to live in Colombia. So when she goes to her visa interview in Bogota, the first thing the immigration officer is going to want to see is her permission slip to live in Colombia. If you don't have a permission slip, if you're from Holland, but you live in Germany, the German government has to give you permission to live in Germany, and you got to prove it. Don't change embassies, Kinza Zane. Cecilia Gomez, I got NOA 1 December 30th, 2022. When will I get NOA 2? I would say next month or the end of this month. But this month's over with. Next month. Dina Alley, Diego, I appreciate your help in your time. We all appreciate that. Dina, I'm glad to help you. I'm just trying to make it easier for you to give you answers to your questions, okay? And save you, just write me the question, and then I can respond to much easier here, and then I can elaborate upon it and give you more info than you probably need. But that's better, right? It's better to have more info than you need. That way you don't make a mistake and you get your visa. And here's, I got to drink some Mountain Dew, guys. I've been running around all morning. I just made it back in the house to do the live stream. I went to the bank, got some money for Karina's medical exam. Then I went to Publix and I sent it to her through Western Union. Then I had to go to the store and buy some Mountain Dew because I only had a few Mountain Dew left. I got a Mountain Dew, and then I made it here just in time for you guys. Christopher Brown, hi Diego. My fiance is switching embassies from Russia to Argentina. That'll work. Okay, that'll work. Is acceptable to be on a visitor visa for the interview? Honestly, I don't know that, Christopher. I don't know the answer to that. I thought that persons had to be legal residents of that country. What your beneficiary needs to do is go to the Argentinian immigration office, okay? Like Karina went to the Colombian immigration office. I went to the Colombian immigration office. I got permission. I got a permission slip to live in Colombia for a year. Have your beneficiary go to the Argentinian immigration office. I think in Buenos Aires. I think that's where the city is, and have her ask what are the rules for that. See if she can get a cedula, like a 1-year cedula. Say, hey, I want a 1-year cedula. See what happens. That's what I recommend. I don't think the U.S. Embassy is going to stop your beneficiary from having a visa interview on a tourist visa, because technically that's a permission slip to be in Argentina. But I think she has to be a resident of Argentina, okay? It's not difficult to get Argentinian cedula. Go to the Argentinian immigration office, file for a cedula. It takes, 3 or 4 weeks. Get the cedula. Then she's legal in Argentina, and then you got no issues with the immigration officer at the embassy. And my suggestion, GLK Dog 01, hey Diego, I got approved after my RFE. I knew you'd get approved. How long does it take after that? Well, now you got to wait for the National Visa Center, NVC. Could be 2 months, 2 months, 3 months, somewhere in there. Cecilia Gomez, what happens if the petitioner gets laid off after the K1 interview? Will it be a problem? No, it's not a problem. But if the only time it will be a problem now would be for the green card. Got to apply for the green card, okay? When you fill out the I-864 affidavit of support, what are you going to put in there for job? I would recommend getting a joint sponsor in this case, okay, to protect you, unless your sponsor gets a job between now and then, okay? But it's not going to hurt anything at the embassy interview. But it will maybe a problem at the green card process, because you got to show employment or income. And if you can't show employment and or income, get a joint sponsor. But it won't be a problem. Dini Ali, Diego, my issue, the MVC is still holding my K1 visa due to Baghdad embassy closed. I said it was closed. How can I switch to Ankara? Do I need to email the MVC? What I would do, okay, is ask the MVC if you can switch your visa interview to Ankara, Turkey. Okay, send them an email. Include in the email your case number, whatever information you have, your date of birth, your full name, your passport number, your passport. Is it an Iraqi passport? You got an Iraqi passport. Put in there the expiration date of the passport. Email the embassy in Turkey and ask to switch. Email the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center, if your K1 visa package is at the MVC right now, email the MVC and ask them very kindly to swap it to the embassy in Ankara, Turkey. It shouldn't be a problem because you're in Iraq, Iran, those two countries. Venezuela, Niger, those countries. That the people from Niger are going to Egypt for their K1 visa interviews. Contact the NVC, ask them to switch. But you got to identify yourself: name, date of birth, case number, passport number. Lee Kirkula, good afternoon, Diego. What's the website to check your case status? I just got my case number and invoice ID today. SEAC.gov is the SEAC account, SEAC.gov. And Karina just sent me a text message with all these little, I got all these little hearts from Karina. Thank you. Gracias, Karina. Te amo, mi amor. Let me see. Go to SEAC.gov. Edward Tubman Jr. Hi, Diego, from Liberia. How long does it take to get an interview at the embassy in Liberia for K1? 2 to 4 months. Kansas Zane, this is a message I received. No available appointments. Yeah, that's common. There are no available appointments for the chosen visa category at the embassy consulate. Keep looking. Check 3 times a day, every day. Okay? Check 3 times a day. Don't go past 3 times. If you go past 3 times, you get locked out. It says you may also try changing the consulate to another location if you are willing to travel. Should you find an available appointment there? You can do that. If you want to, I'm not going to tell you to do that, because the moment you do that is the day you get, is when an appointment gets free in the other place. You know? Kansas Zane. If you want to switch embassies, go ahead. You can do it. If it's an embassy like in Baghdad, Iraq, Venezuelans, Iranians, Russians, Ukrainians, our friends in Russia. Mohammed Al-Saraji. I do buy and sell items from wholesalers, and they give me an estimate of the retail price. Is that enough for the asset? Or should I get an appraiser? Get an appraiser. Mohammed, get an appraiser. Get it done right. Do it right. An appraiser. GLK Dog 01. After NOA 2, you have to wait 2 months. 2 to 3 months. Dina Ali, how was the process in Ankara? I heard there's a delay. People waiting for a year for interview. Is that true? I've seen 8 months. So I haven't seen 12 months. I've seen 8 months in Ankara. Doesn't the MVC shouldn't know what Baghdad embassy? Okay, shouldn't the MVC know that the embassy in Baghdad is closed? Well, the embassy in Baghdad is open. They are not closed. Okay, they are just not processing K1 visas. Okay, so they're not going to say that. The embassy website is going to say something like this: the embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, is processing visas on a case-by-case basis, something to that effect. So I would email the embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, and ask them, can you please get an appointment? Okay, ask them 3 times maximum. After you've asked them 3 times over a period of 2 weeks, then contact the MVC and change your visa interview to a different country. Okay. In your case, you won't have any problems doing that. The people from Russia, from Iraq, from Iran, Venezuela, they can change their embassies without too much of a hassle. Let's see. But Dina, but the MVC hasn't transferred my K1, so I should just email the MVC, right? Yeah, the MVC is not going to do anything unless you ask them to. Right now, your K1 visa is scheduled for a visa interview in Baghdad, Iraq, but they're not processing visas in Baghdad. I know what's going on pretty much in every embassy in the world, just from doing the YouTube channel. Baghdad isn't processing visas. Email the MVC, and ask them to please transfer your K1 visa to Dubai. How about Dubai? Where are you at? You're in Baghdad, Iraq, okay? So Baghdad, Iraq, it will be easy if you get a visa appointment in Dubai. GLK Dog 01, how long does it take to get to MVC? 2 to 3 months. Kinzazane, thank you for your suggestion. Diego, hey, no problem. I'm here to help you guys. Okay, I'm going to help you. I can't magically make your K1 visa appointment show up, but I can guide you on how to get it. I'll guide you. Okay. And Brian and Jacqueline just sent a celebration post on your YouTube channel that Jacqueline was just approved. Congratulations. Now, everybody, Jacqueline had her visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Okay. Karina has her K1 visa interview in Bogota, Colombia in about 3 weeks. And Jacqueline just got her approval today. Woof! I bet you're glad that's over with, right? Brian, I bet you're happy as a clam. Now, wait for the passport. Wait for her Colombian passport to get her visa put in it. And then get on a plane, go to Bogota, and bring her home. Bring her through customs. Bring her through immigration. Dina Ali, you're in California. Your fiance's in Iraq. Okay, Dina. So you're the sponsor who filed the K1 visa. Your fiance is in beautiful Iraq. We love our friends in Iraq. But the problem is the embassy is not processing K1s. When you filled out your I-129F, you put down U.S. Embassy, Baghdad, Iraq for the point of contact for the embassy interview, right? That's what you put in there, right? The embassy's not processing K1s right now. The MVC has it. The MVC's sitting on it. They can't do anything until you tell them to do what to do with it. You are in control of your petition. Email the MVC and ask them, please transfer this case to Dubai. I would send it to Dubai, not Turkey. And then Dina understands that. So Dina, you understand how to do this. Brian and Jacqueline, NOA 1, February 2nd, 2022. NOA 2, April 4th, 2023. Interview 10/24/2023. Results approved. Boom. Fantastic. Good job. So Jacqueline needs to go eat some Colombian food. Go into a Colombian restaurant, eat some Colombian food. Because when she gets to the United States, it's going to be tough to find Colombian food here. Okay? It's hard to find. Colombia's got its own specialties. The meat's different. The milk's different. The cheese is different. The potatoes are different. The vegetables, the verdura, so everything's different. So if Jacqueline likes Colombian food, she needs to go eat some before she leaves the country. Let me see. So good job to Brian and Jacqueline. And GLK Doggo 1, after the MVC receive it, how long does it take to process? 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how busy the embassy is. Brian and Jacqueline, thank you so much, Diego, for everything you have helped with. Hey, thank you for keeping me in Mountain Dew, Brian and Jacqueline. You know, you kept me in Mountain Dew, and I helped pull you over the finish line for this K1 visa, and you made it, and you got it. Success. Salute to Jacqueline for her scary visa interview. Success today. It's cold too. Dino, thank you. You're so sweet, Diego. No, I'm not sweet. I'm an old retired Navy guy. I just know what I'm doing. I got all this information right up here, and I'm giving it to you for free. So you don't have to pay for an immigration attorney. Brian and Jacqueline now. Brian and Jacqueline, that's a big super chat right there. Now, you know, a super chat like that is going to keep, we're going to have a big dinner in Bogota next month thanks to that super chat, Brian. Thank you, Brian and Jacqueline. We will go for that kind of super chat. We can eat. There's a restaurant in the Centro Comercial in Andina, in the Andina district. It's a Mexican restaurant, and we're going to go eat there. Thank you guys for that super chat. Dina, Dubai, really Dubai? Why is that, if you don't mind? Because it's not as busy as Turkey. Ankara, Turkey's busy. You got a choice, Turkey or Dubai. You know, I would go to or to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You know, those embassies aren't busy, but Turkey's busy. If you can switch it to Dubai or Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, you'll get your visa interview much quicker. Speed is of the essence, right? I want to help you get your beautiful prometido in the United States and out of the desert of Iraq. We want him here, right? You want him here. We want him here. Brian and Jacqueline, haha, she said she wants McDonald's. No. Now listen, Brian. The very first McDonald's that ever opened in Colombia is in the Andina district, the Andino Centro Comercial. Okay, now there's about 80 McDonald's all over Colombia. The very first one to ever open was opened at the Andino Centro Comercial in Bogota. Go there. That's a place in the history books for Colombia. Let me see. Dubai, Dina, it's more rapido. It's much quicker to get your visa interview done. Denise Jefferson, Brian and Jacqueline, you did it. I'm so happy for you guys. Good post, Denise Jefferson. Good post. Positivity. Now we got to help Denise get her future husband in the United States too. He's in Nigeria. ECAS, hi Diego, I filled out the DS-160 and submitted and also created an account. I'm on the pay fee step since October 15th and it says no available appointment, but I still don't even get the payment instruction. Well, you can't pay for the visa at this particular embassy until there's a slot. When there's a slot available, then the State Department will let you pay for the visa fee. Okay? So just keep looking, okay? Don't panic. Relax. The embassy has your DS-160. Now, what does DS mean? Does anybody know what does DS mean? Come on now. Department of State. DS, Department of State, Form 160. And so just relax, ECAS. Don't panic. You'll get it. And Brian and Jacqueline, thank you so much. Denise Jefferson and Joe K. Doggo 1, the embassy's Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic are processing K1 visas. They're busy though. It's the Dominican Republic, you know, part of next to Haiti, south of Puerto Rico, right in there, very close to the United States. You don't have far to go when you get all this thing completed. You won't have a long flight. It'll be a quick. And Brian and Jacqueline, that's one heck of a super chat right there. And Karina, I'm going to take Karina to this Mexican place in northern Bogota next in November. And Brian and Jacqueline, dinner on Us Diego. Much appreciated. Brian and Jacqueline, she said she wants McDonald's because they don't have one in Armenia. Armenia? No, that's true. They don't. They don't have any McDonald's in Armenia, and they don't have any McDonald's in Russia anymore. Now, Russia, the Russian Federation, they had over, I think it was 600 or 700 McDonald's restaurants all over Russia. Now they got zero. You know, governments create more problems than you can shake a stick at, right? You know, the McDonald's Corporation kept on paying the employees of the McDonald's in Russia even after they closed all their restaurants. Armenia, Quindio, Colombia. Armenia. Oh, that's in Colombia. That's right. You confused me there. I'm like, Armenia? What are you talking about? Yeah, no, I didn't know that. You know, there's about 70, 80 McDonald's restaurants in Colombia. And the first one that opened up is in the mall in Andina, the Andino Mall. Yeah, the coffee region. That's right, Brian and Jacqueline. It's the coffee region. When you said Armenia, I'm like, what? And now you say the complete name is Armenia Quindío. Patricia T. Collison. Hi, Diego. Where can I get a 1099 from? Well, if you are self-employed, if you're a real estate agent, your broker mails you the 1099. If you work for, the 1099 is mailed to you by the person who you contract with. Okay. If you are so what job do you have? I mean, tell me what job you have, so then I can answer your question. If you work for somebody in a normal job that's not self-employed, if you're not self-employed, you get a W-2. If you're self-employed, you get a 1099, and it gets mailed to you. Let's suppose you work as self-employed. If you're self-employed, it gets mailed to you by the person you work with under the contract. Brian and Jacqueline, sorry, I'm just so used to saying Armenia. No, you're good. You just confused me because Armenia is a country, a separate standalone country. It's in Kindia, right? It's the coffee district. Karina calls it the cafeteria. Danny, hello, Diego. I have my interview on January 9th. I wish it could be sooner. January 9th is better than February 9th, right? And January 9th is better than April 9th, right? You got to look at this stuff different. You got to look at this positively. Okay, guys? If you get a visa interview date and it's a long way away, just be glad you have a visa interview date. Now, there's nothing from stopping you getting on a plane, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, and going to visit your beneficiary in her country for what, 2 weeks, 30 days if you can get away. Tell your boss you got family stuff to take care of. I'm very lucky. I'm self-employed and I'm retired from the military. So I'm very lucky. I don't have to answer to anybody but Karina. Karina's my boss. Okay? Karina is me effing. Danny said, let me see here. Patricia says you work in a hospital. So if you are a contractor at a hospital, the HR or the hospital needs to mail you a 1099. Go to the HR and ask them for where you can get it. Where they should mail it to you by January. January 31st is the cutoff date for all 1099s to be mailed out to people who are contractors. Okay. Yeah, Brian and Jacqueline, middle of the coffee region, cafeteria. I think there are three pueblos, 3 villages that are all kind of connected together in that area, 3 different towns, and they're all part of the coffee triangle. Danny, hello, Diego. I have my interview January 9th. Yeah. Denise Jefferson, Diego, we are so incredibly appreciative of your help, direction, and guidance in this process. Brian and Jacqueline are proof that if we listen to your advice, we will have success in our journey. You're absolutely correct. Now, I'm not patting myself on the back, guys. Okay? I'm nobody special. I'm just all retired Navy guy. But I know how to do this K-1 visa better than an immigration attorney. There was a young lady sent me a message this morning, and she said that she watched my video, which is your videos. Actually, it's not my video. I make the videos for you guys. She watched the video about the I-134, and her immigration attorney was telling her to fill it out totally incorrect. So if she had filled out the I-134 as per her immigration attorney, okay, that I-134 would have been ran through the shredder at the embassy, and she would have had to get a new one because it was totally goofed up. Totally goofed up, maxed error, everything. She watched my video, your video on I-134, and she went, wait a second. My immigration attorney told me to do this. So she messaged me. She said, hey, what do I put in this block? What do I put here? What do I put here? I said, watch the video. And she said, I did. And I said, well, follow the video and you'll be good. You'll be successful. And she said, okay. Well, she fired her immigration attorney. I don't know if she got her money back, but if she had listened to the immigration attorney, he filled it out like she was going to be a tourist. Totally goofed up. And then another gentleman sent me a message and said that his immigration attorney filed the paperwork, didn't include the letter of intent to get married, forgot the birth certificate, didn't translate anything. Totally messed up. So I told him to get rid of his immigration attorney, and I will help him personally through this. For free. Gratis. Brian and Jacqueline. That is true, Denise. I have listened to and watched Diego for a while now, and all the information he has given definitely helped me tremendously, or helped tremendously. And then Brian and Jacqueline is telling Denise, I know your approval is coming soon. Denise Jefferson, you're going to get your visa sooner than you think. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. Brian and Jacqueline. Wait a sec. Whoop. Janiela James. Hi, Diego. Hope all is well. Janiela, doing great. Karina's at home. She's trying to figure out what to bring to America, what to leave in Colombia, what to give to her friends, her sister-in-law, her brothers. You know, I set up an apartment in Bogota for her, and now we're going to have to offload all that stuff. So, but wait, we're not going to do that until her visa is in her passport, obviously. But when she gets her visa and her passport, I will be there in Colombia with Karina to help offload the house. You know, we don't need 50 million sets of knives and forks. We got a bed, we got a closet. We don't need that. We'll give it to her sister-in-law. Blankets, we're not going to need them here. This is Florida. The only time we need blankets in Florida is like January and February. That's it. Brian and Jacqueline, no, Diego, you deserve a pat on the back and a million Mountain Dews. You really did help us so much. Brian, salute to Jacqueline, and a salute to Denise Jefferson also. You know, let me see. Janiela James, Diego, got married yesterday. Hey, so I'm gathering everything to do the adjustment of status. Janiela, so you got married yesterday, and today you're doing paperwork? Are you serious? Seriously. Today you don't do paperwork. Today you spend with your new husband. Okay? Today's not a paperwork day. Stop doing paperwork and be with your husband today. Go somewhere. Go to a restaurant. Do something. But don't look at paperwork for immigration. This is not the day for immigration paperwork. This is a day to be with your husband. Okay? Give it a couple of days, get your head calm, relaxed, then do the paperwork for your adjustment of status. You got plenty of time. Congratulations, though, Janiela. Let's see. Janiela James. Also, Diego, there is a question on the I-485 about public charge and household income. I'm kind of confused. Can you do a video filling out the new I-485? I can make a video about it. But here's the thing, if you make enough money, if you make, I would say $2,000 to $3,000 a year above 125% of the minimum income for your family size, you don't have to worry about the public charge because you're not going to be a public charge. A public charge is somebody that will need a joint sponsor. But I'll look at it. I'll make a video about it. Furious Ram, hi Diego, any word about the embassy in Casablanca? They are busy. They're working their tails off. Dina, Ali, why my comment doesn't show? Which comment, Dina? Where is it at? Write it again. Now remember, this is YouTube, and YouTube they let me put this platform together for free. But nothing's free in a capitalist country like the United States. So they pay for the service with commercials. So perhaps a commercial was running when you posted the comment. I don't know. Ask me the question again. Janiela James, not today, Diego. Janiela, there you go. No paperwork, no immigration today. Don't think about it. ECAS, the petition expires after USCIS approval past 4 months. No, it doesn't. It expires if you don't contact immigration within 4 months after it expires. So if you have an NOA2 letter and expired 4 months ago, but you have been contacting the NVC, you've been sending emails and inquiries, you've been emailing the embassy, let's suppose it's at the embassy, Every time you send an email to the embassy, your NOA2 letter gets automatically extended by the consular officer. Okay, you got it? So don't worry. As long as you're maintaining contact with immigration, your NOA2 letter isn't going to expire. Does the U.S. Embassy schedule and make the interview before it expires? No, you do. You schedule it. ECAS, you schedule the visa interview at the embassy. And as long as you are in contact with immigration, the MVC, you send them an inquiry, you emailed the embassy and say, hey, I'm just checking in, guys. This is ECAS. What's going on? This is my case number. Just checking in. Your visa NOA2 letter gets automatically extended. And put your hand up in the air if you understand what I just said, ECAS. Dina, what's the email for the MVC? You send an email inquiry. It's an email inquiry. Let me see here. I'm going to have to look it up for you. Okay, now bear with me, guys, because my phone takes me like 20 times to get through my password. Let me see here. I got to find it. Immigration. Don't you just guys love this process? So it's a TSG, okay. Not in there. I'm going to have to keep looking. Right here, perhaps. Go into, that's from the embassy. NVC, let me see here. NVC, I have to put my glasses on. Guys, give me these test questions. I can't hardly see. nvc.state.gov/inquiry. nvc.state.gov/inquiry. That's the website to send an inquiry to the NVC. Where is it? nvc.state. Man, I can't read. .gov. What did I just say? I gave it to you verbally, but let me write it down. nvc.state.gov/inquiry. All right. That's where you send an inquiry to the NVC. Once you do that, your NOA2 letter gets automatically extended. Okay. The consular officer won't time you out. Now, let's suppose you got your NOA2 letter and you didn't, and the NVC then sent you a case number after 3 months. So let's say 3 months. Let's suppose you didn't get a case number yet and you've been waiting for 3 months. Send an inquiry to that email address and say, hey, guys, I'm checking in. You'll get an email back with a timestamp on it. That timestamp is when your NOA2 letter continues. Okay, you got it? You understand that, guys? Sharon Persikian. Hi, Diego. Sharon. And Dina, why doesn't your comment show? Write it again. Dina, write the question again. Patricia T. Collison. Diego, it's possible for my mother-in-law to come to the USA by invitation before marrying my fiance. Go fill out a B2 visa request. Yeah, Patricia, your mother-in-law can come. Just got to fill out a K1 visa. A tourist visa. Go into the embassy, go into the non-immigrant visa section and apply for a B2 visa. Christopher Stout. I saw on YouTube channel as of now, November 8th, 2022, week of filer, it was left behind. They say still working on it, this process. Yeah, here's the secret so somebody put a YouTube channel together and they're taking data from the MVC. Now, you know my opinion on the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center data is not correct. So technically, the information on that channel isn't 100% accurate. So I don't put that stuff out until I know for sure it's accurate. Sharon Persekian, who was supposed to fill out the I-134? The sponsor. What is an I-134? I picked up these truffles from Winn-Dixie. These truffles, man, are good. Lots of calories, lots of sugar, but they taste good. Who fills out the I-134? The I-134 is a request by the sponsor to immigration, telling the immigration officer, let's take Diego. Diego fills out the I-134. I promise you, Mr. Immigration Officer, Miss Immigration Officer at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, that I will take care of Karina. I will support her. I will provide for her a roof over her head, medical insurance, medical facilities, food, clothing, shoes, teach her how to drive a car, or teach her how to drive a car in the United States anyway. I will be filling out an I-134 for Karina as the sponsor, saying that when Karina gets to America, she's going to be fully taken care of financially. She can kick back in the Florida room and watch the squirrels running around in the trees, and I promise to take care of her. Okay? The sponsor fills it out. The sponsor signs it. The sponsor dates it. I just made a video on who signs the I-134. Watch that video, Sharon. Watch that video I just made for you guys on who signs the I-134. Whose signature goes on page 10 of the I-134. JS. So I have my interview set for Bogota, December 4th. JS. A lot of folks in here from with beneficiaries in beautiful Colombia. Do I still have to email the NVC to extend it, even though I'm set for the interview? No, you're done. The consular officer at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota has already automatically extended your NOA-2 letter until December 4th of 2023. So we're going to give a high five salute to JS's beneficiary, or to JS. So Jay, you are the beneficiary. You are in Colombia, right? You're in Colombia, JS. Yes, you live in Colombia. Your NOA-2 letter is already extended through December 4th. Thomas Farrell, hi Diego, still waiting on the original divorce decree to get to the Philippines in Manila, so the visa will be approved. Waiting isn't fun, but should be approved in the next week or so. Yeah, Thomas, you just forgot the divorce decree, man. It's no big deal. You made a mistake, but you probably didn't know. You didn't realize. Most people make mistakes because their immigration attorney tells them wrong information, sends them down a rabbit hole, puts them on the wrong boat to some other, I'm not bashing immigration attorneys, okay? But I will never ever let anybody control my K-1 visa. Karina's life is in my hands and in the immigration officer's hands in Colombia. And Thomas Farrell, thank you, my friend, for that super chat. Thomas, salute. A salute to Thomas and also Brian and Jacqueline. You guys are keeping me stocked. Brian and Jacqueline, I'm taking Karina to eat Mexican food. It's a bit of an expensive restaurant, but it's the best Mexican restaurant in Colombia, in my opinion. And we're going to go there. So let's see here. You'll get your visa done there once you get that divorce decree in the hands of immigration. And Sharon, you understand the I-134. JS, nah, I'm the petitioner. Okay, you were talking about you were in Colombia. Okay, so you're the petitioner, and your beneficiary is where? In Colombia. What city? Where does she live in Colombia? Tell us. Sharon Pasekian, who fills out the DS-160? If that's the job for the beneficiary. But if the beneficiary doesn't quite understand how to do it because it's in English, the sponsor can help with the DS-160. So the sponsor goes in and helps the beneficiary with the DS-160. All you got to do is at the end of the DS-160, they will ask you, did anybody help you fill out this form? And your beneficiary is going to say, yeah. And then you're going to put your name, Mr. Sponsor, your name and everything at the end and say, this is the person, the address where you live in America. This is the name of the person that helped me fill out the form, and you're good to go. Karina can't speak English. The DS-160 is in English. So I called her up on the phone, and we went over the questions on the phone and I asked her the question in Spanish, and she told me the answer. Then I clicked the box. So I helped her with it. Then I submitted it, got the case number, submitted the confirmation page. Boom. Then I went into the SEAC account, paid for the visa fee, scheduled the visa interview, scheduled the biometrics, and then I called her up and said, okay, your DS-160 is done, your interview scheduled, your biometrics is scheduled. Now you need to schedule the medical exam. And she scheduled the medical exam on her own. She got on the bus, on the Transmillennial. It's much quicker than using a taxi because the traffic is terrible, horrible in Bogota. Traffic sucks. She got on the bus, went through the bus lane, went to the doctor's office, scheduled the medical exam. Jay said, thanks to Brian and Jacqueline. Jay says, my girl Andrea is in Colombia. Yeah, where does she live? Colombia is a big place. What city? Thomas Farrell, thank you again for the super chat. Mohammed, I heard that it's not easy to make an appointment at Casablanca Embassy and you have to wait for them to call you. I've never heard of them having to wait for them to call you. I've never heard of that before, and that's in Morocco. But I know that they're busy people, and you just got to keep looking for a slot. So that's interesting. I've never heard of anybody having to call the beneficiary. Never heard of it. That's a first. So I would have to say that's probably not true. Cartagena, JS. So your beautiful Prometida is in Cartagena. Oh, that's right. I remember. And Cartagena, that's near the Castle de Felipe. Beautiful, beautiful town. The weather is fantastic. The weather in Cartagena is kind of like the weather in San Diego. Brian and Jacqueline, some of the questions they asked in Bogota were, how did we meet? And when do we have future plans? When did we meet? Do we have wedding plans? Well, Karina and I have got wedding plans. I got a stack of wedding plans like this. I'm bringing them to the embassy with her. Where would we stay after we arrive in the United States? Well, Karina's going to be right here in Florida. Then they checked the financial papers. There you go. Boom. Knocked it out. Home run for Jacqueline. Marlet Chaka, how long does it take to schedule an interview in Ethiopia? It's about, like I'd say everybody, it's about 2 to 4 months. 2 months, probably, about 2 months. 4 months is about the max. Sharon Persekian, he speaks good English, so we are okay there. Okay. That's always a winner, right? Adi Conley Banyo. Hello, what's going on, Adi Conley? JS is talking to Brian and Jacqueline. 12 months of financial docs in Bogota or just past 3 months? Well, for me personally, I've got 12 months worth of bank statements going to Bogota, Colombia next week. So that way, if they ask for 12 months, 6 months, or 3 months, I got it all covered. Mr. Nahas, good morning to you and good evening for others. Mr. Nahas, you are super intelligent. You know that people watching this channel live in all different countries around the world, all in different time zones. And you hit it right on the head, morning and evening. Angel Mogisha family, my fiance got a visa, Diego. Angel, good news. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. Brian and Jacqueline. Jacqueline isn't sure, but she gave them the 3 years of tax returns. Then the officer stepped out and returned about 5 minutes later and said she was approved. Boom, boom, boom. JS, once you are approved, how long before you get the visa in the passport? Okay, JS, it takes about 3 to 4 days to get the visa put in the passport, and then you pick it up. I believe you pick it up in Gold, a place, Edificio Gold, I think it's called, in Bogota. Mohammed Fao. Hey, Diego, I'm still waiting for my case number. I made an inquiry. They said they sent it to the embassy, but still now did not receive my case number. Send an email to the embassy, Mohammed, and ask for it. Brian and Jacqueline, but I gave her 12 months of pay stubs. Good plan. Bank records, 3 years of tax returns and tax transcripts. Brian and Jacqueline, you did exactly the right thing. Here's the thing. If you give 3 years worth of tax returns, then they may ask you for the tax transcripts too. If you give them the tax transcripts, then they may ask you for the tax returns. So if you bring tax returns and tax transcripts and W-2s and 12 months worth of bank statements and 6 months worth of pay stubs and a letter from your boss where you work at, you got every base covered. Because what the immigration officer does is he or she will look at the income off the tax return, look at the 1099 or the W-2, look at the bank statements, look at the direct deposits, and in 5 minutes they can make a decision on the income. The biggest thing about the embassy is the income. You got to make enough money. They've already figured out the relationship is real when you filled out the DS-160, when you submitted all the photographs to immigration and it went to the embassy. They know that the relationship is good. The main thing they're looking for now is money. Do you make enough money to take care of your beneficiary? Blush. When my fiance did her interview, I was well prepared, but when I was there, only one thing they wanted to see was the police record. And when I showed them that, they only asked me a few questions and I was accepted. There you go, Blush. Now, here's the thing, Blush. What country was that? When you tell somebody what happened in your process, please identify the country so that the people know what country that you were in. Because there could be people on here from that country that are trying to find out what the process is at that embassy. It was El Salvador. Okay, beautiful El Salvador. I've been to El Salvador. Central America. Beautiful little country right there. It's a beautiful place. The jungle there, you got like the food. Go eat some food. There's restaurants in the jungle in El Salvador. I remember going and eating some kind of steak dinner in El Salvador. Brian and Jacqueline is talking to Jay. It's better to give your fiance more and not need it than not to give her enough. Salute to Brian and Jacqueline for that post. So I would give her 3 years of all the tax documents, W-2s, and 12 months of bank statements. Another salute to Brian and Jacqueline. Blush, yeah, the U.S. Embassy are very chilled here. Well, that's because they got the AC turned up, Blush. The AC is at maximum because it's hot in Central America. It's hot. I remember. Thank you, B and J, Brian and Jacqueline. I will do that. Patricia T. Collison. What can we do to speed up the process transferring our visa from Cyprus to Liberia? Contact your senator. Call your senator in your state. Every state in the United States has got 2 senators. Florida's got 2 senators. California's got 2 senators. Alaska's got 2 senators. Call your senator and ask them to help you get it transferred. We pay lots and lots of money in taxes every year to the government of the United States. Our senators get paid from our taxes. They have offices set up in their Senate districts, in their states, excuse me. They have offices created for immigration. Okay, let's take Florida for example. Florida, we have 2 senators. We have Rick Scott, the Honorable Rick Scott, and we have the Honorable Marco Rubio. Okay, 2 guys. They have offices set up in Florida for immigration. They have secretaries that work for them to help with immigration. If you are having a hard time getting your visa from Cyprus to Liberia, and you have tried every avenue to get it done, and you keep getting a blockade, Cyprus ignores you, Liberia ignores you, the MVC ignores you, contact your senator by phone, not by email, by phone. And if you need the phone number, let me know. I'll give it to you. Tell me what state, and I'll give you the phone number. Give them a call and ask your senator to get your case transferred from Cyprus to Liberia. Okay? They'll do it for you. When I went through my spousal visa, okay, in 2018, it was during COVID. And then COVID went away and everything, supposedly all this other jazz with COVID. I couldn't get an interview at the embassy. The embassy was open. They were doing business. They were conducting interviews. But for some reason, they didn't like me. Maybe because I kept blowing up the embassy email. I don't know. I called my senator, and within 10 days, I had a visa interview at the embassy in Bogota. Pretty quick. Okay. But that was passed. That was my first K1 visa. That's history now. That's all in the history books. Let's talk about here. Brian and Jacqueline, like Diego said, they already know the relationship is real. Yeah, they know. Now it's just all about proving the income and financial requirements. Another fantastic post by Brian and Jacqueline. That's exactly right, guys. Blush, that is true. Yeah, it's hot in Central America. I remember I've been to Guatemala and El Salvador and Panama. I was in Panama. I was in Panama in 2021. In the middle of winter, in January. It was like 100 degrees outside. Angel Mogisha family. So, Diego, when my fiance gets here, how soon may he get Social Security and employment card? Well, to get the Social Security number, you got to have the I-94 form, a copy of the K1 visa, a copy of the biographic page of the passport, the marriage certificate, and that's it. Go to the Social Security Administration with those documents and ask for the Social Security number, and then file for the green card. And you get the green card, you can also apply for an EAD, which is an employment authorization document or an EAD document, and it's free. Okay. Now I just saved our lovely friend. There's a lovely young lady from Iran, from Tehran. She got out of Iran. I helped her get out of Iran into Turkey. She got her K1 visa in Turkey. Then she flew to the United States, to Texas, and then I helped her through the green card process. And she was fixing to pay $400 to immigration for her work permit. But the work permit is free when you apply when you put it in your green card package. The work permit is free. So I saved her $400. She came on the channel. She said, "Hey, Diego, I'm fixing to pay my $400 for my EAD card." And I told her, "Whoa, hold on there. Don't do that. There's no cost." I told her, tear the check up, and I saved her $400. Let's see here. Christopher Stout. Hey, on this website, I've checked my visa statics. Do you believe this close is accurate? Christopher, I don't believe a word USCIS or MVC tells me. I don't believe them. I don't pay attention. They told me the embassy in Bogota was closed because of COVID. Okay? They're not. Patricia T. Collison. Yes, I need the number. I need the number, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Okay, well, we're going into the state of Georgia, Patricia. Okay. So you got 2 state senators in Georgia. And hold on a second, guys. I'm not being rude, but I'm helping out. Let's see here. Hang in there, guys. So you need the number. You live in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I just need to know the state. You got two senators. You got Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. Okay. So hold on a second. I'm looking in this John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. That's who they are. Now let me find the number for you. 1 second. And Dina. Diego, I'm going to take your word and pick Dubai. Dina, good decision, Dina. Good decision. Get Dubai, schedule for Dubai, okay? Douglas Olson, hello, congratulations on your progress so far. Thanks, Douglas. Let me see here. Brian and Jacqueline, please, everyone, listen to what Diego is saying. Salute, more good advice. He helped so much with our visa, and we owe he greatly. Just follow his advice and you will be successful. Brian and Jacqueline, I'm just so happy for Jacqueline and you guys got the visa done. Now just wait for her Colombian passport to get embossed with the K1 visa, and then get out of Colombia and come to America. Now let me find the phone number to these senators. Okay. Do you have a pen handy right there for our friend from Georgia? If you got a pen handy, let me know, and I'll give you the phone number to your state senator who you need to call. And Dina, does anyone here have an experience in Dubai and Ankara? JS, thank you, Diego. You're the real MVP. Hopefully, Karina gives you a nice massage. You guys deserve it. Karina will see me next week, okay, on Halloween. I'll be sitting at the airport in Miami on Halloween night waiting for my flight to Bogota. So I bought a bunch of candy, put it in my maleta, in my carry-on bag, and I'm going to give it away to kids at the Miami International Airport. See, I didn't forget Halloween. You're going to have kids at the airport running around with their moms and dads trying to go somewhere, and I'll be throwing candy at them. Nestor Corona. Hey, Diego, my NOA 1 was April 6th. When should I get my NOA 2? You should already have it. Nestor, you should already have your NOA 2 letter. But if you haven't got it yet, you should get it probably next month. You should already have it. Douglas Olson, I'm currently working on our I-134. Is it sufficient to just include the yearly income? Yes, that's fine. Yearly income. And if your income, you only list your assets if your income is marginal, okay? If you are just a couple of grand over the minimum income requirements for a K1 visa, then you put your assets and your bank account statements. Isaac Medrano. Hey, Diego, I know you're not counting the days, never have, but you're almost close to the interview, just like me. 35 days for me. Isaac, you're right there, my friend. I never once counted a day. Okay, here's the thing. When I was in the United States Navy, I would deploy on a ship, okay, and I never counted days. I got my shipmates counting days. Oh, Diego, we've been at sea for 40 days. I'll say, okay, and your point is what? What's your point? I've been at sea for 60 days. Okay, and your point is what? Are you back home? Are we home? Are we where we're supposed to be? Are we at this place we're going to be on our mission? No. So what's the point in counting the days? Now, what I used to do in the Navy was when a month passed, let's suppose in October it's almost passed, right? When the month passed, I would get my ball cap and I would paint a white line with whiteout on my ball cap for a month that's passed. And I keep track of the months. And basically I did the same thing for the K1 visa. When a month passed, you know, there's a month gone. Then I would put a check mark. So I kept track of the months, not the days. Asad Rameh. Hi, Diego. Hope you're doing great. I am every day. I want to ask you some questions. My petitioner sent the inquiry to the local embassy in Pakistan, in Islamabad, and they replied to her with the link. Is it a sign that we can schedule? Well, you got to click on the link and find out. Click on the link, see what it does. Patricia, you have a pen. Write this phone number down. This is for Senator Ossoff. Okay, you ready? It's 202-224-3521. 202-224-3521. Okay, that is your senator's phone number in Washington, D.C. Get on the phone and call his office and say, hey, I need help moving my K1 visa from Cyprus to Liberia. Explain why. Give him the info. The secretary will write all the information down. Give him or her your phone number, your email address. The senator will help you get it done. Immigration don't like getting phone calls from senators, okay? They don't like getting phone calls from senators. when they get a phone call from a senator, they start doing stuff. They start acting. They start doing things that you need to get done. But you only want to do that as a last resort, okay, in an emergency. If you've been waiting 18 months for your K-1 visa NOA-2 letter, if you've been waiting for 18 months already for your NOA-2 letter, get on the phone to your senator. Okay, now, did you get that phone number? Let me see. Assad Rame and in the DS-160 form, who it asks for that will pay for the trip? The petitioner. No, the petitioner pays the plane ticket for the beneficiary. Even if you both contribute, Assad Rame, you put down the petitioner is paying for the plane ticket, not the beneficiary. Okay? Trust me on this, please. I'm not going to tell you why. That's the reason. But you just got to trust me. Put the petitioner is the person paying for the plane ticket. Christopher Stout minus Cindy Hyde-Smith and Roger Wicker for my senators. There you go, Christopher. Well, get on the phone if you need help. Call Cindy. Senator Cindy. Assad Rami in U.S. contact information and ask for the relationship. You're the fiance. It says two options, relative or U.S. petitioner. You're the petitioner. You're the petitioner. And what would be the intended date? Now, what you mean by intended date is when is your beneficiary going to leave the country? Well, you just guess. It's an estimation. On the I-134, okay, they ask you, what is the end date for the I-134? Well, there is no end date because the person's coming to America to live permanently. Okay? And the other part of the question is, when are you leaving your country? What's the departure date? You don't know. You're not going to buy a plane ticket until you have the K-1 visa in the passport, right? So let's say, for example, Karina's K-1 visa interview is November 16th, which it is. I put down January 15th as the departure date from Colombia. Now, obviously, we're not going to leave in January, but that's the guess. It gives us gives us 8 weeks of leeway to get our apartment closed down, to get everything handled for her. So it's just a guess. It doesn't have to be an exact day, okay? It's an estimate. Patricia, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Patricia. Nesta Corona, I checked nothing yet, only said case received. Okay, that's a good start, Nestor. That's a good start. Okay, guys, it's Thursday morning. I've been talking for an hour and 8 minutes. Thanks, guys, for the super chats. I'm taking Karina to eat Mexican food. Brian and Jacqueline in the Andino district of northern Bogota. Okay, on that super chat. And Karina loves that Mexican restaurant. Ooh, I tell you what. I mean, it's good Mexican food. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and log off. Today's Thursday. I believe today's Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. I'll make some videos tomorrow. And Saturday, I'll be back on a live stream. And Sharon Persekian, well, look at you right there. Thank you, Sharon, for that super chat. Much appreciated. Guys, the super chats are really, really appreciated. I would much rather be here helping you guys with K-1 visas than, doing my day job, honestly. This is more beneficial. This is more rewarding for me. And I know that, there's lots of people out there that I have saved from a massive, massive, massive immigration headache. Oh, today's Tuesday. I thought it was Thursday. What did I say? Today's Tuesday. Okay, so tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow night, guys, at 7 p.m., I'll be back. I'll be back 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Sharon, Brian, Jacqueline, and everybody. Thanks for the super chats, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.